All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Reach Demo Day. Thank you for making the hike all the way from the general session. I know it was a little bit far, but I can promise you that every step you took was worth it. We think this is going to be the best hour you spend in Anaheim all week, because this session is all about giving you a behind-the-curtains look at 8 of the fastest-growing technologies for real estate. How many of you are new to this session? How many of you have never been to Reach Demo Day before? Awesome. So what I'm going to do for all of you is get started with who we are at Reach, and then we'll dive in to hear about some of these really awesome technologies from the founders themselves. I'm Ashley Stinton, Executive Director of the NAR Reach program. We've been doing this program for a little over 11 years. Second Century Ventures, NAR's venture capital arm, was created back in 2008 with a mission to support and invest in technologies that keep realtors central to the transaction and central to the consumer. A few years later, Reach was incepted, the goal being to have an even deeper relationship with emerging technologies, and specifically with the entrepreneurs creating these new solutions. Through Reach, from the thousands of prop tech companies that are out there, we pick a select handful every year. We provide them with mentorship, with guidance, with industry expertise, often from many of you, and we give them unique access to the realtor community so that they are building and shaping these tech solutions the way that you are influencing the way you need them in your businesses. These are companies that want to grow with you and build their technologies for your business. The 8 founders you're going to hear from today are in very good company. We have just over 250 companies in our portfolio. We run 6 Reach programs worldwide. We have 2 here in the United States focused on the residential and commercial sectors. And we have programs in the UK, Canada, Latin America, and Australia and New Zealand. What this means for you is we're investing in prop tech solutions around the world to foster innovation and find those entrepreneurs and find the very best solutions that can help you advance your business. So today, you're going to get to hear from the founders of these 8 amazing companies who have spent the last 8 months working with us, finessing their products, joining us at industry events, and working with the realtor community. Some of these solutions you'll be able to directly incorporate in your businesses today. Some of them are scaling so rapidly, they may not be in your market yet, but they're looking for early adopters like you to help them enter into your market. And some of these solutions you may not be the end user for. They're consumer-centric, or they're about advancing the macro real estate environment. So let's get started. Really excited for our first presenter here. I'm going to welcome to the stage CEO and founder of Plus Platform, a modern asset management and trading platform, Buck Collins.
Thanks. So when I started in Wall Street in 2006, my mind was blown for 2 reasons. So I was on the mortgage side, and when I owned mortgages, I didn't necessarily have clarity into the underlying quality and data completeness and document completeness of my loans. And then the other fact that really blew my mind is that the $13.8 trillion United States mortgage market is squarely managed in Excel. Thin component systems and dislocated and disparate document management solutions. Now think about that, right? 2008 should have been a lot worse. So when these loans are bought and sold, or they're traded or transferred between servicers, the data and documentation associated with them can get lost, and does get lost. When a mortgage originator makes a loan and sells it into the primary market, roughly 6 to 10% of that data and documentation associated with those loans are lost. When subsequent investors trade those loans in the secondary market, some institutions lose up into the mid 20% of the data and documentation associated with those loans. It's a nightmare. So right now you're probably thinking, well, that's some really sloppy housekeeping. And then you're also probably thinking, but how does this affect me? Why are you telling me this as an agent or a broker? Well, the answer is it really affects you. Because when investors lose sight into their portfolios, what they do is they start hoarding cash, and they focus more about triaging. Because when defaults start ticking up, they need to pour that cash around those portfolios, and so they stop buying as much. So when you stop buying as much, that means originators stop making as much.
We're struggling to hear you in the back.
Okay. They're gonna up it, or we're good? Is that better? Yeah. Well, trust me, I'm a New Yorker. I got some lungs on me. Yeah. All right, awesome. So where are we? So as brokers, you're thinking to yourself, that's sloppy, but why do I care about this? Well, you do care about it because as investors are starting to triage their portfolios and they're starting to focus and retaining capitals because they're fearful that defaults could be ticking up, they're extending less credit. And that means extending less credit means that they're buying less loans. That means originators are making less loans, which means that your prospective buyers or your hopeful buyers there are getting less loans. So it's very material for you guys. And so here at Plus, we're incredibly passionate what technology can do to standardize the primary and secondary mortgage market in terms of creating sustainability as well as liquidity. My name is Buck Collins. I am the co-founder and CEO of Plus Platform, and I'm very excited to be here. But let's talk about you. So I'm the son of a real estate broker of 37 years. I grew up in open houses. That's what I did on the weekends when my older sister refused to babysit me. So I know exactly what you want. And you want two things, and just two things. You want a high volume of high volume of houses being bought and sold. And then the other thing that you want is that origination process to go smoothly. Why? Because you just spent all this time cultivating these potential buyers, and you want to consummate that deal, you want to get your fee, and you want to move on to the next one. Again, 37 years, I get it. So as we go through this, and I apologize, I spoke through the slides, let me give you a kind of a 30-second high view of what we do here at Plus for you guys. We started talking to it, but let's dive into it. So at Plus, what we do is we take paper loans. We create digital representations of those paper loans. When we take those loans and we pull them into Plus, we do a data cleansing process in which we're able to call out manufacturing errors from the loan origination process. In addition to that, we create a very robust three-tier model around the three components of what a loan is. The three components of a loan are the borrower, the house, and the mortgage. By having this robust model, as we're inbounding data over the term of the loan, which is 15 to 30 years long, we're cleansing all of that data coming into it. And so now you as an investor have the ability to see in your portfolio and to see the true quality of how your loans are performing. So you have much more confidence to lend out into the marketplace. Sorry, this was automated slides that did not automate. Yeah. So let's go back to you. Plus supports high volumes of homes being bought and sold. How? We give that data assurity, clarity into your portfolio. So now you have full knowledge of the condition of your portfolio. So now you're willing to lend more capital. On the mortgage origination process, as these loans are being created, what we do is we pull those loans in, those paper mortgages, we put it through a data due diligence process. We can call out manufacturing defects. So now originators can amend the issues that they were pumping out in the market historically. So now me as an investor, or I as an investor, have more confidence reaching into that primary market and buying those loans on a higher volume, which means that your borrowers are getting a lot more mortgages. So here at Plus, good news is we have nothing to sell you directly. We just want you to know that we're here to help create a more transparent environment to help investors deploy more capital. Housing has led every economic recovery except for one, which it co-led, since the Great Depression. Brokers and agents are on the front lines of this battle. You give us the ability to get out of negative economic conditions. So we need to give you the tools that you need in which to be able to execute. And Plus is one of those tools. So thank you so much for your time. I thought something happened on that. I don't know if it was like a sensitivity.
Thank you, Buck. Wait, before you go, I have a question for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Question that I know you've been asked by other audiences of this kind that have listened to your presentation before. What's the ideal market for Plus? Is it for a market like this?
We are a great platform for good and bad times. In good times, what we do is we help liquidity, right? We give you transparency, and you have the confidence as an investor to deploy more capital into the market. But when times are bad, I'm going to bring you back to 2008, and for everyone that was here in 2008, you remember how much that mortgage origination pipe was choked off, and as well as how painful the loss mitigation process was for borrowers in the term of the loan. We help with that data collection and assumability around who that borrower is. So when that borrower now is calling into their servicer, needing some type of a modification or a forbearance, you now have this baseline knowledge via a legal right called permissible purpose to understanding who that person is and really mitigating their negative experience with their servicer. So both good and bad markets, very good.
Excellent.
Right.
And I know the slide animation wasn't working. If anybody wants to geek out on the actual platform, obviously I've seen it over and over. It's really cool. Join us at the Reach booth after this to get an actual live demo with Buck.
Yeah, very excited to be part of the 2023 class. It's fantastic. Our co-founders are incredible, and so enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you, Buck. All right, next to the stage, I'm going to invite up Mark Choi, founder of Highnote, and he's going to tell us how to win more listings. We all want to do that, right?
Is this on? Can you hear me back there? Cool. I'm going to talking about how to win more listings. Listings are like gold, more and more so. And this coming year, we see the same trends. And a little hint, it's all in the presentation. All right, my name is Mark Choi. I'm founder and CEO of Highnote. I was once an agent just like you guys. 2006, I got my license. I was a KW agent. That's me pulling around our little open house Airstream. 2010, I started my first brokerage, Climb Real Estate in San Francisco. That was our original live-work loft in horrible Soma in San Francisco. All right, we won a lot of listings, and I mean thousands of listings. We won so many that I was the #2 condo agent in San Francisco, and I was up on the NASDAQ screen. Climb skyrocketed to a top 250 brokerage in the US in just 5 years. We were then acquired by Realogy, and then I had to find something else to do. We taught hundreds of agents how to win these listings, built rookies to top producers, and that was probably our greatest joy being a brokerage owner, is teaching others how to do this and seeing your agents grow. What was our secret? What we focused on were things that we could focus on, and it was the presentation. Because we were new, we were young, we had no experience, and our brokerage wasn't around for a century. So we focused on having the absolute best listing presentation we could, so that we could stand out on that level. How many times have you gone up on a listing appointment and you're up against the #1 agent in your area or in the city? It's almost impossible to beat them. Not unless you have a great listing presentation system, and I'm going to show you what that is today. So after I sold to Realogy, I said I could start something else and help out other agents. So I wanted to help out other agents and win listings, so I started Highnote. And what is Highnote? We're a super easy to use listing presentation system. Just copy templates and use drag and drop to create your presentations, and you deliver with tracking. When you send it, we notify you when it's being read, how long, what sections they're reading, what they're interested in, and what they're not interested in. So here's part of the system. What we do is we give you these proven winning listing presentations that we spent a decade refining that have won thousands of listings. And what it is, it's the before you meet and then the after the meeting, the pre and the post. And we also customize them for you. Why? Because you don't want to spend the time doing it. You guys are busy. So we work with you to build these personalized presentations for you so that you can win more listings. We also offer this one-on-one training on our system. And what we teach you is how to create, deliver, and track using Highnote. We have thousands of agents on it today who call it a game changer. Come find us at the Reach booth, and we'll show you how to take your business to the next level. And for everyone here today, QR code. Let's get the phones ready. But we have a free guide on how to build winning listing presentations, 30 plus tips on how to build the best listing presentations, and they're proven tips. Again, 1,000s of listings. All right, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. One question before you go. I know it was a short presentation. Folks can follow up with you at the booth, but tell us a little bit more about the power of the analytics, the power of the ability to see what potential clients are looking at, and like you mentioned, what they're not interested in looking at.
Exactly. You know, when you email somebody a ton of attachments and links, sometimes you just don't know. Don't you wish you knew what they actually read? How much did they read of that? Did they even open it? Could they even download it? You don't know. So we had this problem as agents. So we said, you know what, we could solve this with software. So you send it through Highnote, and what happens is we notify you the exact document they're opening, how long they've been spending on it, what device they're using. Are they using a phone? Are they using a laptop? So can you imagine these analytics and notifications being helpful for you for figuring out when to follow up and what to follow up about? We had one agent who said he was up against the number 3 luxury agent in the area, and his seller lead was opening up only the videos. So he was prepared to talk about videos when he showed up. He showed up to the house, find out he's a video engineer. And so him being able to key in on the fact that he only opened the videos gave him this great information on how to win the deal. And so he won the listing, and he's been a fan, and his whole team joined ever since.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
All right. All right, next up we have Glenn Shimkus, CEO and founder of Prisidio. Welcome, Glenn.
Good morning. How are we on sound in the back? Excellent. All right, so I'm here to talk about Prisidio. So nobody expects where they live is going to be impacted by a natural disaster. Yet last year, 1 in 10 homes in the US were. No one expects they're going to be the victim of identity theft. Yet someone is every 14 seconds. Nobody thinks today's going to be my last day. Yet that will be the case for 184,000 people worldwide today. Okay, now that I've brought everyone down, but I hope I got your attention, because let's be honest, things like this happen every minute of every day. And if someone in your family's injured, you may need to track down a power of attorney and get it to someone instantly. If you have damage to property, you may need to be able to track down quickly your insurance agent. Or if a loved one passes away, I can promise you, you need to know that their original will is in the safety deposit box at the bank. And the pocket watch in the closet, that's been handed down in the family for 3 generations. I don't know about you, I am overwhelmed with information I have to manage, for me and for my family. Some of it's physical, some of it's digital. When I get it, I often put it somewhere I don't recall when I need to find it. If I need to access it, it's at my home, and I can't get it because I'm in LA at this conference. And the worst part about all of it, when we share our most important and sensitive information, we send it via text and email. Now, that's the easiest way for me to get it to you, but it's also the least secure way of doing so. Good morning, my name is Glenn. I'm the co-founder of Prisidio. I have spent my entire 30-year career helping companies manage their most important information. And I started Prisidio to help families and individuals tackle this very same problem. Prisidio is a secure digital vault. It's built for families and individuals, and its goal is to help you collect, protect, and share your most important information. Prisidio is available both on the web and as an app for both Android and iPhone. Prisidio helps you manage 4 key areas of information. The first is people. This is who is important in your world. It's a spouse, a parent, your insurance agent. Places. This is where you have your original documents, your information, and your valuables. Places can be physical, like a safety deposit box, or digital, like iCloud. Things. This is what you have of value. Yes, it can be the car that you own that has monetary value, but it's also that quilt that has special meaning to your family. And lastly, documents. Yeah, not all of your documents, but your most important ones like your mortgage, your will, and your birth certificate. Sharing is a very key component to Prisidio. We allow you to invite people into your vault and then control exactly what they can see and what they can do, and you have full visibility into everything that they have done. And this includes a real-time notification the moment someone accesses your vault. And starting very soon, you're going to be able to identify who has access to your entire vault upon your passing. Now, I know everybody is here as a realtor to grow your business, to grow your career. But I ask that you don't lose sight of this figure. This is the probability we're all going to pass. Okay, not today, tomorrow, but at some point. And guess what? The probability it's going to happen, it's holding consistent. This is my family. These are the people that depend on me. I show them I love them by taking care of them. And this includes making sure my most important information is pulled together, it's kept safe, and it's available in case of an emergency or if something happens to me. Show your family you love them too. Get started with Prisidio. I promise you, you can do so in as little as 5 or 10 minutes every couple of weeks. And here's the key. Every little bit you do, you and your family are better off. But make no mistake about it, the work is going to need to get done at some point by somebody. Whether it's in an emergency or if something happens to you. And keep in mind, it will likely be during a time of duress, and you may not be here to provide the needed information. Get started with Prisidio. You can learn more by scanning this QR code. You can also sign up and get the special realtor offer, which includes a start of 30-day free trial, followed by the next year at 50% off. Please make sure and stop by the Reach booth and say hi. We'd love to chat with you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Glenn. And honestly, I really encourage all of you to take advantage of this offer. As a consumer myself, I got married 2 years ago and had no idea until I got married how difficult it was to combine all of these assets, all these documents, and just the sheer amount of things I didn't realize I needed to share with my partner. So there's some real power behind this tool. But a question that I naturally had when I first downloaded Prisidio, and probably a lot of people here, how secure is it? This is a lot of really important PII, so how secure is this vault?
What do I have, about 2 hours?
Just a minute.
No, it's a great question, right? We know this is your most important in sensitive information. I've done this for my entire career, and I've assembled a team that's done it. And before I even signed the documents to start the company, I did 2 years of research. And a big component is, can we keep this stuff safe? And it starts with, I built with a world-class team. My chief architect worked for the NSA equivalent in the United Kingdom, and his job was to protect nuclear launch codes. And I'm not joking, that was his job. I have the former chief information security officer at DocuSign who built the company from startup to public company on my board of directors. I've got the head of privacy at PayPal Worldwide as an investor. We have worked with a government agency called CISA that scans our environment and has done the same evaluation on us as they've done on nuclear power plants, water treatment facilities. And there's just so much we do. We actually have a security page that talks about the things we do. And the fun part is the security people tell us, don't say exactly what you do, but give ideas, because if we say exactly what we do, then that gives a blueprint. So security and privacy are underlying, so core to what we do, and from day one, we focused on building a culture of security in our company.
Fantastic. Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, I am going to welcome Paul Cremidas from Summer. And as he's coming up here, let's give him a round of applause for closing his Series A. Huge announcement last week for Paul. And he's going to talk to us about a really cool non-fractional approach to vacation home ownership.
Thank you, Ashley. Can you hear me in the back? See a couple thumbs. Great. As Ashley mentioned, I'm Paul, founder and CEO of Summer. Little known fact about me. I worked at Airbnb for a few years before starting this company. One of the things that always blew me away when I worked there was just how people can actually make money in the short-term rental space. You've probably seen a bunch of articles the last few years about the Airbnb bust or the Airbnb apocalypse, and it turns out it's a little harder than people think to just buy a place, throw some furniture in there, and actually make money to cover your costs. So I started digging into some of the information that I was seeing when I worked there. The top 8% of hosts on Airbnb are, verified or super host status. They give you a veneer of predictability, of comfort around what you're actually getting. You all booked an Airbnb or a short-term rental at some point, I'm sure. You're more likely to pay a little bit more for the security, professional photography, 5-star reviews. You know exactly what you're walking into, than a little bit less for maybe a couple grainy iPhone pictures and something you're not so sure about and your family vacation's wrecked. Those folks make up the top 8% of the platform in terms of hosts. They generate about 21% more on a nightly basis than the rest of the competition out there. So I started to think to myself, well, who's actually buying these? Or if there's so few of them, how can we make more of them? The 5% of Americans own a vacation home, an investment home, second home, whatever you'd like to refer to it as, somewhat interchangeably. 65% would like to own one. I'm always surprised that number is not 100%, but the 5% that does is primarily high net worth folks. A lot of them maybe don't need help. Maybe they go to the home when they want to go, and when they're not there, they just figure it out or don't figure it out. I started to think to myself about a solution that could actually increase the amount of people and have this make sense for more average people, the middle, upper class, people that have some money to transact on something. They have a down payment, they have 20%, but they don't have the risk tolerance to go in with something that's an outsized portion of their own savings and say to themselves, this home is something I want to put money into. I'm going to go for 30, 40, 50 days a year, enjoy some time with my family, and I'll rent it out when I'm not there, and I'll do all the work for that. I'll figure everything out. So I started to think to myself, is there an easier way we can do this to create more happy customers, more happy owners, more people owning real estate that actually yields them money when they're not there and gets them time in a home with loved ones and family that they can actually afford and enjoy? So that's what we ended up doing. We simplify the process of finding, designing, buying, and earning on a vacation home with a very simple tagline of make memories when you're there and money when you're not. Sounds too good to be true, but let me tell you a little bit how we do it. You select a home, come to us. We work very hard to acquire a lot of leads. We put money into paid marketing and a lot of other distribution channels, but that's also where you all come in. We view ourselves as a strong partner and really a best friend of a lot of brokers and agents out there right now. We work very hard for our quality leads. We cannot transact in marketplaces without you all, and we need folks to bring those leads to actually transact on the ground. We also need folks who know these markets very well as well. We underwrite each and every property we're looking at to a really comprehensive data set. Effectively, I'm dubbing it the Zestimate for short-term rentals. I need to come up with a better name, so if anyone has any suggestions, feel free to let me know afterwards. But it's proven to be very accurate with our initial cohort of customers. We're accurately predicting sort of the base bull and bear case for how a home will perform in any market we're underwriting in, and it's proven to be very accurate thus far. We'll show that person the term sheet. They get excited about the transaction, and they want to move towards purchasing it. We have really two options for how to buy the home. You can buy it outright with a mortgage or cash, and we'll facilitate that process with you all and get them stood up into the home. We'll design it, we'll furnish it, we'll generate the yield. They go when they want to go, no blackout dates, and we rent it out when they're not there. But our more novel approach is something called gradual ownership. It's basically a rent-to-own model on vacation home ownership. The customer puts up 15 to 20% down. We take care of the rest. We buy the home ourselves. The customer pays a flat monthly fee, which is actually less than the monthly what a mortgage would be on that property. They get to go whenever they want to go with no blackout dates. When they're not in the home, I rent it out. Summer rents it out on Airbnb, Vrbo, and our own platform. You have up to 2 years as a customer to decide if you'd like to buy the home back from us using the initial money you put down, the 15 to 20%, and the entirety of your monthly payments you made along the way. So yes, that actually is less than a mortgage and typically converts to much more equity into the home whenever you decide to buy. And you can do that a month in, 6 months in, but up to 24 months in, you have 2 years to decide if you'd like to buy the home. All of that goes towards a discount on the purchase price, and off you go towards owning it. We'd love to continue to manage the home and generate the yield for you, and you get to go whenever you want to go. Now, if you don't want to buy, that's fine too. You can actually walk away with your 15 to 20% deposit in full, no questions asked at the end of the 2-year period. We will, however, keep the monthlies that you made along the way, because that's effectively rent that you would have paid to stay in that home for 30, 40, 50 days a year, whatever it may be. And now I'm owning the home and going to find someone else for it or continue to rent it out. So we take the risk and sort of eliminate that risk for the buyer. The key tenet of that is that when you're not in the home, again, I rent it out, and I'm showing you every month, I make the entirety of the short-term rental income on the purchase. So month 1, you go for 10 days that month, I rent it out the rest of the month. I'm showing our customers, hey, we said we would make 10K a month. Look, we're making 10K a month on this home. I'm not just talking the talk and showing you term sheets. I'm actually walking the walk. I'm putting my own capital on the line to show you that this is the least risky way to do this, and we're that good at picking the homes that we feel that confident in it. So we've had some really great and strong initial success. As Ashley mentioned, we have recently closed fundraise. We're growing the platform, raised about $18 million in equity and about $50 million in debt to actually scale up our purchasing. So that's where we'd love to talk with you all. We've had a lot of early success driving partnerships with brokers and agents in the markets we look to transact in. Hudson Valley, Catskills. I'm based in New York, so we've got really strong resonance in the Hudson Valley, Catskills area, Western Massachusetts, Vermont, Cape Cod, Hamptons, Florida. We're looking to push west. We'd love to talk to folks that are in Colorado, that are in Utah, that are in parts of California, Oregon, Washington, et cetera. We'd love to come into markets. Anywhere there is a strong demand for short-term rental properties or vacation homes, we'd love to talk to you. I think we have a really great reciprocal relationship where we can bring high-quality leads, and we need folks on the ground who know what these markets are like. We have the data, but you know if this home is around the corner from a trash dump that maybe won't get someone the experience they want. And we'd love to also help partner with you all on the ground. We've had a lot of success co-hosting open houses, doing webinars with clients, et cetera. If you have clients that are close to transacting or looking to try to transact and figure out their financing, we can step in and help with that as well. We've had a lot of success coming in at sort of the end of the process with folks that are shopping in markets and need help transacting. So thank you very much. If you're curious about how to find me, I'll be around. I have cards, but check us out at www.gosummer.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all the social media at Start Summering. We've got some really great homes you can take a look at. And my personal email, paul@gosummer.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Now, you mentioned
Ashley.
you do a lot of direct marketing, some lead generation, so
Yeah.
anyone can bring you a home, right?
Yep,
Anyone can bring you a home.
Yeah.
But the key is they have these leads and they need the broker partnerships to work with on these leads, yeah?
Yes,
Did I get it right?
It's key, right? Like you work hard for your leads, you're entrepreneurs. You work hard for folks in your market, I work hard for mine. And I think that's the level of trust that we've been able to establish with our early broker and agent partners is, we're mutual entrepreneurs. If I'm bringing my leads to someone, I want to make sure they're going to treat them with the utmost care, treat them really well, take them out in market, shop with them, et cetera. We're really doing that together. And then vice versa. I expect if you have someone that's close to closing and you want to sort of use us as a financing tool to get them over the line or help manage the home, we will treat those folks with the utmost of care as well. And I think that's been really successful thus far.
Fantastic. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Ashley.
All right. Next up, I'm going to welcome Alex Montalenti, CEO and founder of Grader, and we're going to talk about how to digitize and optimize your online presence, something we all need to regularly do.
Thank you. All right, this is my mom, Adriana Montalenti. She's been a realtor for most of her life. In 1968, she came to America from Romania. In Romania, my family had a great life. My grandfather was an entrepreneur, but unfortunately during communism, they seized his factory and they started occupying my family's house. My grandmother was really smart. She negotiated for the passports in exchange for the house. So my mom and my grandmother got on a plane, left to America, landed at JFK Airport, and started with nothing. Thanks to the real estate industry, she is where she is today. This house didn't come easy for her. She worked in a factory in Queens, New York. She started doing rentals in Queens, New York, got into residential real estate, and then eventually helped a lot of people relocate from Europe to America. This morning I was sitting on the steps by the fountain, and I got present as everybody was walking in. What a collaborative, generous industry this is. Like, if it wasn't for all the help that my mom got, she didn't know real estate, she didn't know technology, but she got help along the way. And I think, in a time when the press is talking about everything that's, commissions and taking, I want to focus on generosity and giving. Like, everybody in this room has probably helped a realtor along the way. So I want to take a moment to turn to each other and just say, thank you for being generous. Like, this is such a collaborative industry. My mom has helped so many people along the way. She's gotten help along the way, and I've been helped by probably over 1,000 people on my journey here today. And my mom was struggling with technology. In 1999, if you remember, there was the paper book with listings, and then we went to the MLS. And for my mom, that was a nightmare. She was literally crying trying to put a listing into the MLS. So I came home from college, I saw her in tears, manila folders all over the place, MapQuest printouts, and I said, all right, what do you need help with? She said, I just got to put this thing in the computer. So I started doing it, started doing digital marketing, started helping realtors, and we landed a really big deal, $80,000 commission check. It paid the mortgage on this house, and as a single mom, that was a big deal, right? So all of her friends wanted help. So my name is Alex Montalenti, and what I'm passionate about is helping realtors build your online presence. There's a real opportunity there. 48% of realtors said keeping up with technology is their biggest challenge. No time, it's complex, it's frustrating. When you look at where you're getting the best quality leads today, the top producers, the #1 place is social media, according to the National Association of Realtors Technology Survey in 2022. But how do you manage all of this? You've got Google, you've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, then you got your real estate profiles, Realtor.com, Zillow.com, Homes.com. Where do we have time for all this? There's only 24 hours in the day. Everybody's telling you you need to manage it. The truth is, do you really? Do you really need to manage it, or you just need to get it managed? Here are the consequences, though. You miss opportunities, no credibility, business deals are lost. I know a president of an association of realtors that's done over 1,000 transactions, and on Zillow, it said 0 sales in the last 12 months. He almost lost a deal because of that. So at Grader, we measure, manage, and maximize your digital presence. How do we do it? First, we measure how you're doing online. Kind of like Credit Karma gives you a credit score, we give you your digital score. The good news is we don't publicize it. It's just for you. Over 250,000 agent profiles have been graded, and we can take you from a 30 all the way up to 100. The average grade, when we looked at 100 top producers, was only a 45 out of 100. Pretty crazy. Most agents score low. So ask yourself, are you confident about your online presence right now? Or is there some work you need to do? Only 7 agents out of 100 passed the test. So this is what we look at, the most common mistakes: inconsistent social media, lack of branding, broken links, outdated information, inappropriate or negative content. Do you want somebody else finding your bad review, or do you want to take care of that? What about missing profiles? No YouTube channel. Google owns YouTube. It's the #1 search engine. Data's not synchronized. So the question is, how you doing on Google? No, really, how you doing? I've built these guidebooks, which are now available in the National Association of Realtors Realtor Store. They're all free. Go download them. They're step-by-step guidebooks on how to get optimized on these platforms. We also launched one of the best-selling webinars in the National Association of Realtor Store called The Power of Google and Social Media. You can download that. That's free as well. But education alone never helped anyone. I've been in the industry 23 years, built all kinds of technology and dashboards. How many people really want another dashboard? No. So what we do is we manage it for you. We make it easy. We actually do it for you. We optimize you on all 8 of these websites, make you look consistent. We digitally optimize you across all 8 of the platforms. We're the only company that does all 8. We do it by having a one-on-one call with you on Zoom, and then we go and do the work so you can focus on the business of real estate. We set up your Google, we set up your social media, we set up your Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We maximize on Realtor, Zillow, Homes.com. And at the end, we also create customized, personalized branding for you. So the question is, are you dabbling or are you all in on real estate? I think if you're here, you're probably all in. But this is what dabbling looks like on the left. And that's what all in looks like on the right. We want you to go all in with your digital presence. This is what dabbling looks like online. I've got some of my profiles set up pretty good, but my Google's not so well set up, my Realtor's blank, my LinkedIn's blank. This is what all in looks like. Vanessa Nunez, she actually landed a reality TV show within 6 months of us optimizing her because they checked out her online presence and she looked amazing. The next step is to maximize it, right? There's so much more we can do for you. We want you to be the local influencer. We want you to be your local digital mayor. We want to maximize your presence. So my name's Alex Montalenti, and I'm on a mission to reduce your stress, expand your digital footprint, so you can focus on the relationship business. My mom didn't want to be a Facebook guru. She focused on relationships. Now, how do we make it really easy for you? We put it all together in a pretty little bow and deliver it to you in an Instacard, which is the digital business card. You might have seen our ad in the Realtor magazine. Finally, all your contacts get saved in one place. Finally, all your social media and links can be shared from one place, and it lives on your phone as an icon. Super easy to use. 88,000 agents at eXp currently have this product. Miami Association, 60,000 members. California just launched for 200,000 members. But all of you are going to get a fully customized version. Does that sound good? So our services are a variety of services in the digital marketing space. But this is your opportunity. We want to organize your digital chaos. So get a free digital audit, and as a bonus, we're going to customize your digital business card so you can start using it as early as next week. Scan this QR code and make sure you schedule time with us for this free digital audit, because our calendar does fill up quick at these shows. Within a few hours, we'll be at our booth number 201. Feel free to stop by there or the Reach booth. Thank you so much.
Nice job. All right, thank you, Alex. I have a question for you.
Yep.
So I get optimized. What kind of results am I going to see? Besides, I'm going to be on TV, right? You're promising that.
Yeah, so not everybody gets that, but the possibilities are endless. We've seen all different things happen here. We've seen people set up their Google business and they start getting phone calls right away. We've seen people get leads off their Facebook or their Instagram or their LinkedIn. We've seen people get leads off Realtor.com. But my favorite story is this guy, Chris. I met Chris in Hawaii. I did a presentation kind of like this, and the light bulb went off for him. He's been doing real estate for 30 years, but he hadn't been leveraging social media or online presence or Google reviews. And he's like, wow, if I complement this, imagine where my business would go. It actually gave him life, because now he shows up on social media and he shoots a lot of video. And he's like, I was getting tired. I was getting bored. So what happened? He had a Lamborghini. This guy was successful, obviously. Had a Lamborghini, but wasn't driving it because he's like, what are people going to think about my Lambo? So then he's like, wait a second, what if I turn my Lambo into my marketing piece? So he started putting his social media logos on his Lambo. He put QR codes on his Lambo, and he started using it as a social media tool. His social media skyrocketed. He did 5 business deals within 1 year of getting optimized with us, and he too got on a reality TV show. So anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Lamborghini not promised.
Right.
But we can all envision it. Thank you, Alex.
Thanks.
All right. We're going to move right along to our next presenter, CEO and founder of Flock Homes, Ari Rubin. Welcome, Ari.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Ari Rubin. I'm the founder and CEO of Flock Homes. And we are building the retirement solution for landlords. Before I go into this, I want to say this is not a feature. This is not a property management service. It's not a software solution. This is a brand new way for you to earn your full commission on a transaction that might not have otherwise occurred in any type of market condition. High interest rates, low interest rates, buyer's market, seller's market, it does not matter. But before I do, I can sense that we're like 2/3 of the way through this presentation, and all the startup founders here are running 100 miles per hour like me. So before, I want to get everybody engaged a little bit. So to start, please stand up if you are a landlord, if you own a rental property. Wow, that was more than I thought. Okay, now please stand up if within the last year you have, you can stay standing because you're going to have to stay for this part. If you have represented a client who is a landlord or someone who owns rental property at all. Not on the sale of a rental or buy, but okay, good. And now stand up if you know anyone who is a landlord or owns rental property at all in your networks. Maybe they're in your CRM, they're not. Okay, I would have thought I had everyone standing, but okay, now you can sit, although the people who it's not, if you were sitting, you can leave if you don't want to listen to me. Hopefully this is informative to you. So before we go into what we're doing and how it all works, I want to just talk a little bit about who we've worked with. I started this business 2 years ago. We've raised $35 million of venture capital from some of the best VCs in the world, Andreessen Horowitz, a number of strategic investors as well. We work with 3 types of landlords. The first one is the retiring landlord. This guy or gal is familiar with 1031 exchanges. They're usually in the second half of their life. They have built up a large portfolio that they've owned for a long time, and they're looking for an out. The second type of landlord is a savvy investor. To all those folks who stood up in that first round, there's probably many of you in there. These are people who are potentially still building their portfolios, and at some point in the future, they're going to want an out. And then the third client that we work with, who I would assume every single person in this room knows, is the accidental landlord. The person who owns 1 to 2 properties. Perhaps you helped them buy their primary residence, and then they said, you know what, I want to go all in and I want to be a landlord. And then you help them buy the second primary residence, and they held on to the first one, right? And now it's 10 years later, and they realized that owning rental property takes a lot of work, right? Being a landlord is a hassle. You have to deal with turns, unexpected repairs, vacancies. You have to deal with your property manager. The thing that we hear most often is it's my name on title, and I'm ultimately responsible for it. I know something about that because today, in the last 2 years, we now own 500 homes in Flock, and at the end of the day, it's my name on title on all of them, and I wear that a lot. So the problem we're solving for these landlords, for your clients, is owning rental property is a hassle, but selling it is costly. So how many people here have sold a rental property? If you have, you're probably, unless you did what's called a 1031 exchange, you've probably paid a lot in taxes. And as a result of that, folks just don't sell. Why would you sell real estate? You get tax benefits, you get income, you get appreciation, right? So the problem that we're solving for your clients is being a landlord takes work, but they don't want to sell this thing. So what we're doing at Flock is we're using something called the 721 exchange to help your clients keep all the benefits of owning their real estate while getting rid of all the burdens. And along the way, helping you earn a full commission or a full 3% referral. So how does this all work? Imagine a lot of people here are familiar with a 1031 exchange. I lied at the beginning. I said this was a brand new way. The 721 exchange is not brand new. It's been a part of the tax code for decades, and it's historically been used by large institutional real estate owners. Say a $100 million hotel in New York City that you've owned for a long time that you want to defer taxes on. And the way it works is you, the retiring landlord, or your clients who you represent, they exchange or they sell their rental property, and they get back shares in a diversified, well-curated, well-managed portfolio of homes. So today at Flock, we own 500 homes. your client would sell their property and they would receive back the equivalent value of shares in this fund. Receiving cash is nice because you can do lots of things with cash, like buy Bitcoin or spend it on a lot of dumb stuff, but it also triggers taxes, right? And so if you're trying to build your nest egg, this is an excellent way to estate plan, to diversify, to continue to get exposure to the real estate markets without being hands-on. So how does it work? It's pretty simple. Go to our website, flockhomes.com/agents. You put in your property, and I'll speak to you guys more about how we work specifically with agents, but you put in, your client will get an initial offer based on their property, and they learn about how Flock works. It's complicated. We do not expect all the agents in this room to be experts at this. What we do expect and what we know is you have the best relationships of anyone around. And so essentially the way it works is you bring your client to Flock. We'll do all the hard work and educating. We had an agent this year take home $300,000 of commissions. They never want to be on any sales calls. Most of our agents prefer to work with us and to hold their client's hand throughout the process. You can be as hands-on or hands-off as you want during the process. So we provide an initial valuation. We then ultimately inspect the property to make sure we're aware of what's going on. Your client then sells the property, which is when you get paid your commission. They do an exchange through a regular title company, and they get back shares in our portfolio. Doesn't matter if the client lives in Seattle or they're at their vacation home in Laguna Beach and the property is in Kansas City, we can do it all within 48 hours from the comfort of their couch and, of course, most importantly, from the comfort of your couch. And so what does it look like on an ongoing basis? Your client has a secure portal that they can split up for their heirs amongst multiple trustees, different LLCs, maybe one individual owner, and they get all the income, all the appreciation, and all the tax benefits from this large diversified portfolio instead of the asset that they used to own on their own. So that's a little bit about how it works. We built a world-class team from some of the largest investment management firms. State Street, we just hired our general counsel from State Street Global Advisors. They have $800 billion under management. We have a very talented team from some of the largest single-family operators like Progress Residential. We've hired a large engineering team. They saw the writing on the wall and they learned from Open Door. Now they've joined forces with us. And that's a little bit about what we're doing. So if you'd like to get in touch, I see lots of people have emails. I don't have my QR code up here, but you can send me, the CEO, directly an email, ari@flockhomes.com. Or you can go to our website, flockhomes.com/agents. You'll be able to see all how it works, get a sample offer page, and you'll be able to learn more about how we work with your clients. So thank you so much for the time. I'll be at the booth later, and would love to chat with you all.
Thank you, Ari. Based on the number of people that stood up in the room, I think everybody is going to be joining you at the booth later to work with Flock. So one question before you go, a quick one, because I know we're running short on time. Tell us just briefly how you manage the portfolio at Flock. Is this just property management?
Yeah, it's hard. Like, that's why I have a team, and I'm losing a little hair. We have a team of 25 in-house professionals. We've hired from some of the largest single-family REITs in the country. We do centralized asset management. There's a big difference between, as you all know, there's a big difference between a property manager collecting the rent and telling the owner, hey, you should probably fix this thing, to taking an institutional approach to every single property you own, what that lease expiry curve looks like, what the return on investment looks like from doing every single renovation, what the depreciation schedule looks like for every asset. And we've built world-class tech and a world-class team to do it. So,
fantastic. Thanks,
thank you so much.
All right, next up to the stage, I'm going to have Brandon Wright, CEO and founder of Tongo, joining us. Here you go, sir.
In the next 4 years, half of the U.S. workforce will be self-employed. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's super inspiring. It takes a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and a lot of money to build a business. It takes money to run a business. It takes even more money to grow a business. It takes money to stage homes. It takes money to market yourself between closings. It takes money to pay for the tools and the people that support you. And that's a huge problem because the world of finance isn't built for you. It's built for salaried professionals. I'm Brandon Wright, and I'm the co-founder and CEO at Tongo. Your mortgage, your auto loan, credit cards, even health insurance, Netflix, your gym membership, everything's monthly. And for salaried professionals, their monthly income is aligned with their monthly expenses. In financial terms, we say that their cash flows are aligned. But that's not how realtors get paid. Realtors get paid when deals close. And that irregular income stream makes it that much more difficult to do basic things like manage expenses, budget, save, invest. But Reach has brought me here to share good news. Tongo is reinventing financial services for the commission economy. We're starting with access to capital to give you the money that you need to sustain and grow your business on your terms. Tongo is like your commission-backed line of credit, but better. Like a line of credit, it's free to have. You only pay for what you use. It's rationally priced, and because you're a business, the fees are tax deductible. It's private and secure. There's no broker involvement. You only repay when your deals close. Quick poll. Which of these realtors is a Tongo customer? Steven's a top producer. Teresa's actually a producing broker. Joel has a great work-life balance. Answer Steven. He's taking share in a volatile market, and he's using Tongo to fund pre-closing expenses like staging and marketing. The answer is also Teresa. She's using Tongo to balance cash flows against her fixed costs like rent and staff. And of course, I've baited you. The answer is also Joel. Joel leans hard on credit cards and even commission advances seasonally as he's waiting for those closings. He saves a ton of money using Tongo. We've made it super easy to use. You sign up in under a minute, add your deals. If we're integrated with your brokerage, your deals are already there. We give you a credit limit based on what you expect to close in the next 60 days. And you can draw against that limit 3 ways. You can use your Tongo Business Visa card, you can ACH transfer, or you can instant transfer for the same price as Venmo. You simply repay when deals close. Your cash flows are aligned. We work with the top brokerages in the country that are forward-thinking and understand the need to provide financial support for their agents in a challenging market. They get exclusive benefits in terms of pricing and capacity that we'd love to extend to you as well. Realtors nationwide are using Tongo to take share at a time when others are pulling back. They're freeing up personal cash flow, they're separating their personal from their business expenses, and they're not leaning so hard on their credit cards or using predatory advances. Finally, you have the financial tools you need to build your best business. We'd love to help you grow that business. Thanks.
Thank you, Brandon. So you mentioned that you're starting with access to capital. Where do you guys plan to go from there?
So it turns out that for self-employed professionals with irregular income streams, if you want to help them budget, save, and invest, the first thing you have to do is help them stabilize their cash flows so they don't covet cash until their next income event. So we're leading with access to capital so that they can create that stability for themselves on their terms. Once we do that, we can introduce saving and investing products that are automated. Think about a payroll processing tool for the self-employed economy where you can automate contributions to tax savings account, automate contributions to your SEP IRA or your brokerage account within the flow of funds. So that'll be, think about that in Q1, Q2 of next year, but but hopefully access to capital gives you the stability you need to begin that journey.
Fantastic. Thank you, Brandon. All right, everybody, last but not least, we have one more presentation for you. Raise your hand if you've ever heard the term resi-mercial. And how many resi-mercials do we have out there? Probably quite a few. Or maybe you don't identify by it, but you know what I mean. We've got Taylor who's going to talk to us specifically to those resi-mercial folks. Thanks, Taylor.
Thanks, guys. Awesome. Howdy. How many of you guys have ever rented before? All right. How many of you guys, when you go and move into that place, you pay your first month's rent and you pay that security deposit? And when you give that security deposit to the property manager or the landlord, you always feel like, yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to see this again, right? Well, in our worldview, we see the problem as essentially property managers, specifically third-party property managers. They're running around with their heads cut off, right? There's a gazillion things that they're doing at once, and the one thing that they probably aren't paying attention to is property-based trust accounting. Does anyone here know what that actually means? Right, one hand, right? And especially property-based trust accounting in a complicated property management software such as AppFolio, Buildium, Proctorware, Rent Manager, okay? So 99% of third-party property managers here in America would not pass a trust account audit, right? So let me repeat that, right? All of you guys here who are like brokers probably have agents managing properties, right? They're all managing properties under your license, right? You would probably lose that license if you were to get audited today, right? So this is a growing problem as well, and there's also opportunity here, right? Because the market's going to shift, right? There's a massive shift to the market towards more and more rentals. There's institutional buyers, there's flock, right? There's all these people coming out and trying to buy homes, but then ultimately renting them, right? And if you own a home today with a mortgage, you probably have less than 5%, right? And it does not make sense financially for you to sell that home. You should turn into a landlord. So if the vast majority of the homes today are going to turn into rental properties, there's going to be a huge need for property managers. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to pick up the phone at 3 a.m. and answer about a tenant saying my toilet's not going to flush, right? So my name's Taylor. I'm the founder at APM Help, where we're turning accidental property managers into the best property managers. I actually grew up down in Texas, climbing up essentially attics or into attics with, as a son of my dad, who was a realtor and a property manager. I also happened to be entering transactions at night for my mom, who was a CPA, right? So I never actually thought I'd become the literal product of my parents, right? And straight out of college, my first job was actually at a company that, if you're managing properties, you probably have heard of, but it happens to be AppFolio, right? And so when I was at AppFolio, I supported thousands of their clients and realized in a subsequent startup that actually was acquired by AppFolio that none of the property managers we worked with could actually produce accurate and timely financials. So here's what we actually do, right? Today, property managers are doing a ton of things, but we bucket them into 3 main sections, right? You do leasing, you're essentially managing the property, accounting, and you're handling maintenance, right? When you work with someone like us, right, or us, you do leasing. You do the things that require to be boots on the ground, right? We handle everything else for you, but specifically we start with accounting. So this is not just an idea. We've been at this for over 6 years. We have over 1,000 brokers here in America that are already clients, and we currently help manage over 100,000 single-family residential. And we happen to be experts in the softwares we use, right, or you guys already use. So instead of being, like a sponsoring broker that you tell your agents don't manage properties, but they're still managing properties, right, taking on that risk, or if you're even thinking about starting a property management division because sales have cratered, right? Reach out to us. We work with the best property managers in America. We're happy to help.
Thank you, Taylor. So question for you is, how is this different than an in-house property management software somebody's already using?
Sure. Well, and it's not necessarily just software, but it's also your staff, right? So if any of you guys have tried to hire an accountant, right, that knows bookkeeping or knows accounting in a specific software, it's probably extremely, extremely difficult. And so, and they probably don't understand trust accounting, right? So if you get in trouble, you get audited, God forbid, it's your license that's on the line regardless. So when you work with someone like us, right, like we actually not only clean you up and make sure you're going to pass that audit, but then we keep you clean. Our pricing and everything scales, right? So as you have more units, as you decrease units, our pricing fluctuates based on how many units you manage. That doesn't happen with people, right? So your accountant, you're going to pay them $5,000 a month no matter how many units you manage. With us, you only pay us for how much you're actually managing.
Fantastic. Thank you, Taylor. Let's give him a
Thanks,
round
y'all.
of applause. All right, I know we ran a little bit over. A couple more seconds of your time. Where to find all these amazing companies. These are the 8 companies you heard from today. If you're interested in even more technology, our global team is here in Anaheim this week, so I encourage you, come find us at the Reach booth. It's 749. Meet with our global team, meet with our founders that you heard from today, and tap into some of this technology. Thank you so much for being here.